La Niña is back. This natural climate pattern chills the Pacific Ocean. It affects weather across the globe. La Niña has happened many times before. In the past, it brought cold and wet conditions. Some periods were very harsh. These times are reminders of nature's power. La Niña is not new. Its past appearances have shaped history. The Little Ice Age from the 1300s to the 1800s saw several strong La Niña events. This period brought colder winters to Europe and North America. It impacted agriculture, leading to hardship. La Niña is a complex dance of ocean and atmosphere. Trade winds blow across the Pacific, pushing warm water west. During La Niña, these winds intensify. Cold water rises to the surface along the Pacific coasts of the Americas. This chills the air and disrupts global weather patterns. The effects are far-reaching. La Niña typically brings increased rainfall to Southeast Asia and Australia. Conversely, it often leads to drier conditions in the southern United States and South America. These shifts can have significant impacts on agriculture and water resources. 2025 sees a strong La Niña. Scientists are concerned. This climatic phenomenon, characterized by cooler-than-average sea surface temperatures in the central and eastern tropical Pacific Ocean, has far-reaching impacts on global weather patterns. It often brings colder winters to the northern hemisphere and can lead to increased precipitation in some regions, while causing droughts in others. The intensity of this La Niña event has sparked debates among climatologists and meteorologists about its potential long-term effects. Some believe this could be the start of a new cold period. The idea of entering a prolonged phase of cooler temperatures, often referred to as a mini ice age, is both intriguing and alarming. Historical records show that past La Niña events have sometimes coincided with periods of significant cooling, but the extent and duration of such cooling remain uncertain. Global temperatures have been rising due to climate change. The relentless increase in greenhouse gases, primarily from human activities, has led to a warming planet. This warming trend has caused glaciers to melt, sea levels to rise, and extreme weather events to become more frequent and severe. The question now is whether the current La Niña can temporarily offset this warming trend, or if it will merely be a blip in the long-term trajectory of global warming. Could La Niña counteract this trend? Some scientists argue that the cooling effects of La Niña might provide a brief respite from the relentless march of global warming. However, others caution that any cooling will be temporary, and that the underlying trend of rising temperatures will continue unabated. The interplay between natural climatic variations like La Niña and human-induced climate change is complex and not fully understood. It's a question with no easy answer. The scientific community is divided, with some researchers emphasizing the potential for significant short-term cooling, while others highlight the overwhelming evidence of long-term warming. The uncertainty surrounding these predictions underscores the need for continued research and monitoring of climatic patterns. A new ice age is a frightening thought. The prospect of glaciers advancing and ice sheets expanding is a scenario that evokes images of a frozen, inhospitable world. Such a dramatic shift in climate would have profound implications for ecosystems, agriculture, and human societies. However, the likelihood of such an event occurring in the near future is a topic of intense debate. Glaciers could expand, swallowing land. If the planet were to enter a prolonged period of cooling, glaciers and ice sheets could grow, encroaching on forests, farmlands, and even urban areas. This would not only reshape the physical landscape but also disrupt the lives of millions of people who depend on these regions for their livelihoods. Sea levels might drop as water freezes. In a colder world, more water would be locked up in ice, leading to a decrease in sea levels. While this might alleviate some concerns about rising seas and coastal flooding, it would also create new challenges, such as changes in ocean circulation and impacts on marine ecosystems. However, this scenario is unlikely in the short term. Most climate models predict that while La Niña events can cause temporary cooling, the overall trend of global warming will continue. The current La Niña is expected to be a temporary phenomenon, with temperatures likely to rebound once it subsides. It's crucial to separate fact from fiction. In an era of rapid information dissemination, it's easy for sensationalist headlines to create confusion and fear. Scientists and researchers play a vital role in providing accurate, evidence-based information to help the public understand the complexities of climate change and its potential impacts. While a full-blown ice age is improbable, a period of significant cooling is possible. The future of our climate is shaped by a myriad of factors, both natural and human-induced. As we continue to study and understand these influences, we must remain vigilant and proactive in our efforts to mitigate the impacts of climate change and adapt to its inevitable consequences. The effects of a strong La Niña in 2025 would be felt unevenly across the globe. Some regions would experience more extreme weather events. Others might see shifts in seasonal patterns. These changes will have profound implications for agriculture, water resources, and human societies. In Southeast Asia, heavy rainfall could lead to devastating floods. Conversely, farmers in the American Southwest might face prolonged droughts, crippling their crops. These regional differences highlight the complex and interconnected nature of global climate patterns. Section 5. A looming food crisis, empty plates and rising tensions. One of the most concerning potential impacts of La Niña 2025 is food security. Agriculture, heavily reliant on predictable weather, is particularly vulnerable to La Niña's disruptions. Shifts in rainfall patterns and temperatures could lead to widespread crop failures and livestock losses. Imagine empty supermarket shelves, soaring food prices, and growing social unrest. These are not scenes from a dystopian future but potential consequences of food insecurity. The global food system is interconnected and disruptions in one region can ripple across the world. Section 6. Economic upheaval. Bracing for impact. Beyond agriculture, La Niña 2025 could trigger a cascade of economic disruptions. The financial sector, already sensitive to market fluctuations, could see increased volatility. Stock markets might react unpredictably to the news of extreme weather events, causing investor panic and a potential downturn in global markets. Factories and industries dependent on stable weather conditions could face operational challenges, leading to reduced productivity and potential layoffs. Extreme weather events such as floods and droughts can damage infrastructure, disrupt supply chains, and lead to significant economic losses. Flooded streets can halt transportation, making it difficult for goods to reach their destinations. Droughts can devastate crops, leading to food shortages and increased prices. The ripple effects of these disruptions can be felt far and wide, affecting both local economies and global trade. These impacts would be felt across various sectors, from agriculture and energy to tourism and transportation. Power outages caused by storm damage can cripple businesses and homes, leading to further economic strain. The tourism industry, heavily reliant on favorable weather, could see a decline in visitors, affecting local businesses and employment. Transportation networks, essential for the movement of people and goods, could be severely disrupted, leading to delays and increased costs. Insurance companies could face a surge in claims as extreme weather becomes more frequent. The increased number of claims could strain their resources and lead to higher premiums for policyholders. Homeowners and businesses might find it more challenging to secure affordable insurance, leaving them vulnerable to future disasters. The financial burden on insurance companies could also impact their ability to invest in other areas, potentially affecting the broader economy. Governments might struggle to provide disaster relief and support affected communities. The cost of rebuilding infrastructure, providing emergency services, and supporting displaced individuals can be overwhelming. Budget constraints and competing priorities could limit the effectiveness of government response, leading to prolonged recovery periods. Communities might have to rely more on local initiatives and international aid to cope with the aftermath of extreme weather events. The economic fallout from La Niña 2025 could be substantial and long-lasting. The combined effects of disrupted industries, strained insurance systems, and overwhelmed governments could lead to a prolonged period of economic instability. Individuals and businesses alike would need to adapt to a new reality, where extreme weather events are more frequent and their impacts more severe. The resilience of economies and communities will be tested as they brace for the challenges ahead. Section 7. Can humanity weather the storm? The potential impacts of La Niña 2025 paint a sobering picture. However, it's important to remember that humans are adaptable. We have faced climate challenges throughout history, developing strategies to survive and thrive. Investing in climate-resilient infrastructure, developing drought-resistant crops, and strengthening early warning systems are crucial steps. International cooperation is essential to address the global challenges posed by La Niña and other climate events. Section 8. The need for action, adaptation, and mitigation. While we can't control La Niña, we can influence its impact. Adaptation is key. This means adjusting to the changing climate. Building seawalls to cope with rising sea levels is one example. Developing drought-resistant crops is another. Mitigation is equally important. This involves reducing greenhouse gas emissions. These emissions contribute to climate change, making extreme events like La Niña more severe. Transitioning to renewable energy sources and improving energy efficiency are crucial steps. Section 9. La Niña, 2025, a wake-up call. La Niña 2025 serves as a stark reminder of our planet's intricate climate system. This phenomenon, characterized by cooler-than-average sea surface temperatures in the central and eastern tropical Pacific Ocean, has far-reaching impacts on global weather patterns. From severe droughts in some regions to devastating floods in others, La Niña disrupts the balance of our environment, highlighting the delicate interplay between the ocean and the atmosphere, and our vulnerability to its fluctuations. Coastal communities face the brunt of these changes, with rising sea levels and increased storm intensity leading to erosion and flooding. Urban areas are not spared either, as infrastructure struggles to cope with the sudden influx of water, causing widespread damage and displacement. While the future remains uncertain, one thing is clear: we must act decisively to adapt to the changing climate and mitigate further warming. Efforts to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, transition to renewable energy sources, and implement sustainable practices are more critical than ever. Planting trees, conserving natural habitats, and investing in green technologies are steps we can take to build a more resilient world. The choices we make today will determine the severity of climate impacts in the years to come. Young activists around the globe are raising their voices, demanding action and accountability from leaders. Community meetings and grassroots movements are gaining momentum, emphasizing the power of collective action in driving change. La Niña 2025 is a wake-up call, urging us to prioritize sustainability, resilience, and a future where humanity and nature can thrive in harmony. The stark images of deforested areas and bleached coral reefs serve as a poignant reminder of what is at stake. By embracing sustainable practices and fostering a deep respect for our natural world, we can create a legacy of environmental stewardship. Imagine a world where lush green forests are preserved and people can enjoy clean, sustainable parks. This vision is within our reach if we commit to making thoughtful, informed decisions today.